Hello and welcome to a very quick introduction tutorial to Dwarf Fortress. Something I've noticed on both mine and other folks' Let's Plays is a very common comment, and that is along the lines of, I would love to get into Dwarf Fortress, but I can't wrap my head around the user interface, or just around the game in general. And what I hope to do with this video is in a quick 25-30-ish minute video, run down the basics of the game and introduce and wrap your head around what the interface is trying to tell you. It's really not that hard of a game. It's just getting past the look of the game and just getting into the game. Once you get in and start playing the game, it's not that difficult, and you'll understand it. But the hope of this video is to overcome that. So the first thing we need to do before we start playing is we have to download, of course, download the game, obviously, but the way we download the game is we go to this. I'm going to put a link to this. This is the starter pack, and you want to download this. What this is going to do is give you all the different utilities to help make the game a lot more user-friendly. So we'll download that, and that will give you this starter pack launcher, which is this window right here. And the only thing we really need to worry about, and there's a few things in here that you could mess with later on, but for right now, the only thing we really want to mess with is DF Hack, the DF Hack tab. We want to make sure Enable DF Hack is on, yes. I think default it says no, so make sure that is a yes. And make sure these automatic job assignments, other automation program, plugins, performance tweaks, and workflow are all highlighted green. Mouse controls, stone sense doesn't matter, but make sure those four are highlighted. That'll make your experience much easier. As for all these other ones, they really don't matter. Autosave, I would put autosave on seasonal. That's another one, actually, probably a good idea. And compressed saves, no. That will also save you some headache in the long run. So other than that, everything else is okay. We'll come back to utilities. Sound Sense is what I'm playing. That's the music that you hear right now. So that is a good one to run. And we'll come back and check out Dwarf Therapist. So that is all you need out of the Lazy Noob pack. We don't need to worry about graphics. Just use what it's got. Everything else is fine. Play Dwarf Fortress. This is how we start the game. So click that, and we get this menu. Whenever yours, since you have not played yet, will not have the continue playing or the start playing. You'll start with a create new world. Before we can play a game, we have to build our world, and that's what we do here. Enter, create world. Now, there's not a lot. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this. I could spend hours really talking about this. That's one of the greater parts of this game, is what this does. But the only suggestion I would have is, if your CPU is not super powerful, I would pick a smaller world size. That's the only one. The other ones don't really matter. Just pick smaller. We'll do a smaller history so this runs quicker. You can see this generates 5 years, 25 years. Doesn't mean a lot right now. Whatever. We'll stick with a smaller world on short time span. Now, something about this game which makes it not that difficult is basically everything in the game has a little tooltip for you. So whatever, but I can use my arrow keys to select. I can use escape to abort, Y to go. That's all I can do on the screen, and it tells me that. So Y goes. We're now building a world. This is a very tiny world, probably smaller than one you've noticed on other Let's Plays. But what we are doing here is basically, it's building every creature in the world, maybe some dragons and some underworld bad things, and all the civilizations and all the stories, all the heroes that have stories that went with them. So say like maybe there's a dragon. The dragon ate Jim in the year 50. It's going to tell me about that. And then I can go look at Jim, and it's going to tell me what Jim did in his past 30 years of his life. So it's ridiculous. I won't go into detail about it, but we just built a world. The world is the awe-inspiring, no, that's Alathu Amitha. Sorry. The Domain of Winds is the name of our place. Alathu Amitha. And I will put another link in the description, which is going to be this one, which gives us a legend. And it tells us what all these mean. Because this is an ASCII, and it's kind of hard to understand. But this will tell us what all of this stuff is. Like the human towns, dwarven towns, what they look like. What the trees are looking like, the mountains. I can give you an interesting song. But the gray is mountains. These little omega signs are dwarven forts. The yellow eyes are elven, whatever an elven fort is called. We have a little plus sign here. This is a human town. We can go look at it if we want. You can use your arrow keys, move your cursor up here, check out the human plus. It's the human town of Colgason. Right there. And it's the steppe of deserts. This yellow here is a desert. Pink is evil, savagery. So when you build your fort, stay away from that. We'll go over that in a second. But there's some dark goblin pits. So lots of goblin pits here. This is a dark goblin fortress. We don't want to go there. The capital I, we want to stay away from because that is a necromancy tower. So just when you build your fort, stay away from those. That's the only suggestion I will give you. Enter, accept. We like this world. We're going to keep it. And this is a small world, so it'll load really quick. But next up, we need to pick where we're going to set out. Basically, we are 7 dwarves setting out from one of our dwarven civilizations. Start playing. Go to the world we just made, Alathu Amitha. Alathu Lasiva is my Let's Play I'm doing right now. Interesting. Alathu Amitha, we just made. Enter. We're going to play Dwarf Fortress. Adventure is like an RPG style game where you're a hero and you roam around the world. But we're just going to focus on Dwarf Fortress right now. But we are 7 dwarves setting out from our dwarven homeland. So one of those dwarven forts that I showed is where we're going to be coming from. Right now we're picking out where we want to go. And you can see, let me explain this. So this is the world map. If I'd picked a bigger world, this would make a little more sense. But this is our world map, which shows the window of the full world. This is the region map, which right now it's the same, other than showing the civilizations, the towns that's in it. If this was a bigger map, this would be a more zoomed in region, and then this was the super zoomed in region. So on this yellow X that I'm right now at, that's where we would set out. Where I know we're in a temperate conifer forest. It's temperate. There's heavily forested trees. There's sand, soil. There's an aquifer. That's what we're looking at here. And if we use the, as we see down here, UMKH keys, we will move the local area. This was where our fort would be. This is where we'd set. This 3x3 square is where we would be our land for our fort. Now you can see, if we want to go on this town here, we're in the middle of a town. The town of Ririlidipi. Some sort of elven. Some filthy elven town. But this is kind of overwhelming. Let's make it simple. We're going to hit F to find a desired location. Now, we do not want savagery. No savagery. No evil. Well, you just leave it. Just leave it how it is. We want a Fluxstone layer. Yes, that's important. We want that. We do not want an aquifer. Aquifers are a pain, especially for a new player. Just no. Everything else is fine. Just leave it as it is and enter and do a search. What this does, it's really quick because it's a small map, but it's going to show you the blinking green is all the places that qualify for these. All these places that they have Fluxstone and they have a no aquifer. Escape, and then we can go back to moving our cursor around. We sort of find it. Sometimes it's kind of a pain to find the thing. We're up here in the ocean. But we could go to this little island over here if we want to build an island, or we can come down here closer to the mountains, more dwarf-like. And we'll just pick this one here. This is what the spot that we're at has. We have some soil, we have deep metals, we have a Fluxstone layer. That's good. Soil is what we need to build our mushrooms. It's good. It doesn't. First time playing, don't put any thought in. Don't put a lot of thought in that. You can put some, but don't put a lot of thought into this. Just build your fort and get into the game. We want to make sure we have trees. Don't pick one that says no trees. Have trees. You want calm surroundings, nice and easy. We want soil. We want Fluxstone. We have deep metals, which shallow metals would be nicer, but no big deal. Just works. So when we find the spot we want, we're going to hit E for embark. It's saying, are you sure you want to go here? Yes, this is where we want to go. Okay, so this part of the game, now we are choosing our 7 dwarves and the supplies they're bringing with them, sort of Oregon Trail style, and what they're going to bring with them to this new place. And luckily, at this version, this is the version 0.42, which allows you to build like temples and inns. It's the new version for 2016. It has this easy start made for new players. Someone has already gone in and set this up to make it nice and easy for us newbies. So use that. If that option isn't there, just do play now. Just go in. Don't even worry about this. It's a pain to deal with. Something wasn't available. Whatever. Don't worry about it. So right now it's going to show us our 7 dwarves that's coming with us. We have Zoglar, Feb, Tosid. As we see, Zoglar is a proficient miner. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Tab, this is all the stuff we're bringing. We're bringing picks, an anvil. We have some wine. Very important. We have cat meat. Very tasty. Once you get more confident with the game, you can come in and you can select this stuff. This is the Oregon Trail part of the game. But we are going to just embark. 15 points remaining. Don't worry about it. Just do it. You can see these things have a cost, so we could buy another cat if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that because I'm trying to hurry. I only have like I have like 20 minutes left. Alright, you have arrived after a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Shut up, dwarf, I'm trying to talk. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of Moses Zeg. Moses Zeg is our homeland fort that we came from, somewhere in those mountains. That's the town that we came from. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You're expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings, ere the dingoes get hungry. There's going to be dingoes running around here. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins here at this place. Nakasodal. Enjoy the shield. What a horrible name for a dwarven fort. Strike the earth. Alright, so let's take a look at what we've got. On this side, we have a mini-map, which we don't want. Tab twice. Okay, bye. Now, I want you to imagine this as... I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We are looking down... We're on a mountain right now. And we're looking down... Or it's snow. Actually, I guess it's snow. Yeah, it's a pile of snow. You can click on it, it tells us there's a pile of snow. Okay, so we're looking at... It's very snowy here. So imagine us in the sky looking down on our dwarves. We can zoom in and we can see our dwarves here. We have this brown thing as our dwarven cart, our wagon, right there. And we have things, we have a stray hen, we have a stray turkey hen, we have Feb, our miner. And this is Tosid, our mason. This one is Sodal, our hunter. But just imagine looking down on all this, and then it makes it a little more easier to see. These triangles are stairs. It's a slope. You can see that this layer is a little bit more shadowy because we're on the layer up. You know, it's actually, when I first started playing this game, it was easy if I imagined Minecraft, the way the layers work there, because there is no slopes on Minecraft. You just sort of step down to the next layer. That's kind of how this works. We're on this layer. If we hit shift, well, actually, just a less than sign. We go down a layer. This is all in the mountain right now, which is why it's black. And this is that layer right there. You can kind of see we go up, we go up. From here, we have all the tree stumps, and we can go up to this layer. And now we're looking sort of in the middle of the tree. We go up a little bit higher, we can see we're at the top of the tree now looking down. So there you go. That's the, hopefully that has explained the view of the game. It's kind of strange looking right now because there's snow on the ground, which is kind of annoying. But there's that. All right, now let's take a look at our menu over here. As I said before, everything that we want to do in the game, every option that we have, there's a shortcut key for it, and it over here is the buttons we can push. There's a few buttons that are very important, especially beginning. The D for designations gives us mining, it tells us to chop down trees, and it tells us to gather plants. Those 3 things are going to be doing a lot of at the very beginning. Okay? Escape, we're going to go back. B is building. If we want to build a building of any kind, crafts dwarf shop, carpenter shop, mason's workshop, a still, these are all very, very important things, especially early on. These are in here in B. Every building that we can do. If we want to build something, it's going to be in here. So like for the crafts dwarf workshop, B, and then W for workshops, and all of our workshops are right here. If we want to build it, we hit enter, and then we'll select it. We'll do that in a second. Escape to go back. Another important one is P. P is our stockpiles. So right now, all of our stuff is on this caravan. If we want, we don't want to leave it out there because then things will come out and steal it. We want to dig into the mountain and put stockpiles in the mountain. So like all of our food, we want inside, right? So we're going to hit P to set up a stockpile and then use the F for food. There's that one. That's all we're going to talk about right now. That's enough for those options. So we're going to start with D for designate. We're going to dig. Now there's a couple different options. You can of course go into the side of a mountain, or you can just go straight down. I think we're going to go to the side of the mountain because it's a little bit easier to understand, I think. So let's go down to this layer. And let's just dig in right here. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you could plan it out a little more, but you know what? Let's just dig. So we're gonna hit D to get designation, and then D to mine, and then we can. There's a couple of different ways. You can use your mouse if it's easy for you, and just drag it out. If that's easy, then just do it that way. If you want to use a keyboard, then you hit Enter, and then you can move over. You can hold Shift and move over really far. Enter, and then we're gonna dig out some spots to put our stockpiles in. And then we can just go whoop and go over there. And we're going to designate this all to be dug. Let's say we want to separate these. Then we can hit X to cancel the designation. And let's go like that. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've got that to be mined out. So 2 of our dwarves will grab their pickaxes and come dig this out. Also, we want wood, because wood gives us things like beds and doors and tables and chairs. So we want to chop down some trees. So T, chop trees. We're just going to grab all these. See all these tree stumps here? We're going to go just select an area. Holding shift and using my arrow keys and then enter, and all these are marked now to be chopped down. So someone's going to grab an axe and go do that. One of my wood choppers will do that. We also want to gather plants. So P, we're going to do the same thing. And if there's any plants under here, we can't really see them, but there they are. They're there. It's hard to tell because it's under snow, but so those will be grabbed. Now, what are we going to do with them? We're going to put them in stockpiles as soon as we get this dug out, but we can't do it yet because they need to go dig. So let's hit spacebar to unpause the game. Space, resume. And now there they go. One dwarf, this guy, Dumont, is going to come over here and look like he's grabbing some plants. And we got, I'm not sure who it is, but somebody's over here chopping trees down. Who is this? Zan. We can click on Zan. He is felling a tree. His name is Zan Rothelthiden. He's a woodcutter. And that's what he is doing right now. And we also have our 2 dwarves in here digging out some dirt. This is a soil floor. You can kind of see down in the corner. I just tried pointing at it for some reason. But in the bottom right corner, it's blue. Soil floor. You can also click on it. Silt loam cavern floor, which is good. We can stick our mushrooms into it. Now, the fighting sound we hear is probably our hunter. Now, how do we see what that is? You hit R. Where's R? R. Reports. The hunting dog is fighting a badger boar. If we want to see a report on that, we hit enter to view the report. And this is what the badger is doing to the boar. If we want to see where that is, we hit Z. We can zoom to it. We can see the fighting. Right here. There's the dog, and is it on top of the... Yeah, it's on top of the badger boar. Whatever a badger boar is. But he's chewing on him. Good job, buddy. Go chew on him. What are these things? Yak bull. Oh, badger sow. Now, if you want to see what units are on the map without having to actually cursor over them, you hit U for unit list. And we have our 7 citizens. Over here, we have all of our pets that we brought with us. We have some dogs, some turkeys, some hens, some ducks. Over here, we have others. These are others is what is on the map right now. Lots of badgers. Lots and lots of badgers. Nothing is dead right now. Good. The year is still young. Yes. All right, escape. Get out of that. Okay, so we're going to fast forward. I'm going to let them dig, and we'll cover a few more things. Okay, so we've dug out our what I've designated here. As you can see, summer or spring is moving along, so the snow has melted, so now we can actually see the grass, which is very, very nice. So what we're going to do first, there's a few things we must do at the very beginning of the game. Our dwarves need something to drink. They need beer, ale, wine. They need something. Food is less important. We can find food. We can pick berries, but beer is very important. Dwarves get very angry if they don't have beer. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our farm plots and our still. Now, we're now going to use the B menu. We have been doing D for designate for everything. We designated trees, picked plants, dug. That's all D. Well, now we're going to build something. We're going to go to B, and we're going to look for farm plot, which is right here, and it is P. So we're going to hit P, and we're going to use the UMKH thing to set this thing out. Now, you can't build here because this is stone, but this is dirt down here. So let's go down here. You can see red X, green X. And we're going to go like that, and we'll just do one big one. We can actually, you know what, we'll do 3. We'll do one big plot there. Enter. And one of our dwarves, as soon as we are unpaused, will come down here and start tilling the soil. And along with that soil, we want a still. So we're going to hit B. No. We're going to hit escape. We're going to hit B. And then W for workshops. And then we're going to build our still, which is an L. Now, the still, something to make note of whenever you build buildings. You can see one of these squares is shaded. The rest of them are bright. That shaded square is one that you cannot path through. You can't walk through that. So make sure that you don't want to put this in the doorway like that. You can put it like that, just fine. They can walk through that when the still is there, but not the shaded part. But we're going to stick our still right here. And we hit enter, and now it's going to ask us, what do you want to build the still out of? You want to build it out of limestone, which you can see there's limestone chunks right here. You can put your cursor over it. It tells you what it is. Or you can build it out of tower cup logs from all the wood that we chopped earlier. We'll just do limestone since it's right here. So a dwarf will come down, grab a block, build that thing. Okay, so our shop done. Farm done. That's important. Let's get some things moved into the fort. So now we're going to talk about the P key that we talked about before. Escape, go back to the main menu, and then hit P for stockpiles. Now, it's important we get a good food stockpile in here, of course. We don't want our food out there getting eaten by rats and things. So we're going to hit F to highlight the food stockpile. And then we use our cursor, and we're going to put it... We'll just put it over here. We can overlap our still. It's okay. It'll go around it. So the dwarves, as soon as we unpause, will grab all their beer barrels and everything and start loading them up in here. We can also do everything else. We can do furniture is fine. We can stick a furniture stockpile. We don't need that big a one, but we can stick one there. And finished goods, which is G. And we're going to throw that over here. Those are the 3 important ones. Actually, there's one more. We want a refuse stockpile. We're going to stick out here. R for refuse. Again, click one corner and click another one. You can use your mouse if you want, but that works fine. So there we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do one more. P and then stone stockpile. Because we're going to start working. We're going to get a mason in here. So let's throw some stones like that. Okay, so we'll hit space to resume, and our dwarves will start carrying things in. So you can see bags are getting hauled in. This is a bag. You put your mouse over it. It's a cave spider silk bag. And here comes an anvil. It's getting pulled in. This is our, this is the furniture stockpile. And this is the finished goods. Every time we make something like a crutch or a splint, it'll get put in here. Our food is over here. Here's a plump helmet spawn bag. This is mushroom seeds, which is what we're going to be planting in here as soon as this gets done. And there we go. So that's a good start. And now I want to move on to workshops. What workshops we want to build. We've got a still going, but there's a few very important beginner ones. Let's go in here. B for building. We're building a workshop, which is W for workshops. And there's a few very important beginner ones. Number 1, the carpenter's workshop gives us wooden things. Wooden doors, chairs, tables. That's pretty much it. Beds. Crafts dwarf's workshop. We'll use that. We want to build bolts immediately. And mason, which we can also use. Mason basically works the same as the carpenter, but you can build things out of stone. So if you're in like a stone place, you'll use that one more. Anyways, carpenter's workshop. We're going to put it, as you can keep an eye on the shaded things. We're just going to throw it over here. Again, we want to make it out of limestone. And we'll go ahead and build them all. Might as well. Crafts dwarf's workshop, which is, I think, R. Yes. We'll stick that one stick it right here next to it. No big deal. And then we're going to put our mason in. Mason. Go there. We could do a bowyer if we want to build some bows for a little bit of a defense. Let's do that real quick. Sure. Okay, so there's 4 workshops done. Those are 4 very important workshops that are done. There's one other one that I would highly recommend building early on, which is your butcher, which is you. And we're going to stick him outside because he's smelly. So let's just pop it over here next to the refuse stockpile. We use the logs. It's fine. So there's kind of a system to this. Your hunter's going to go out and hunt things. Then he'll take him to the butcher. And from the butcher, you'll want a tanner and a leather maker. Whatever leather maker is. There it is. Leatherworks. So the tanner will make leather. The leatherworks will make things like armor and shields and leather quivers. All kinds of good things. So we're going to unpause and let them build these. Just had something pop up here. The dwarves suspended the construction of carpenter's workshop. Now what happened? Let's hit A, and we can see again here if we missed it down there. There is a building item is blocking the site. There's probably a dwarf in the way or something. So what we can do is we can hit Q. Q is, what's Q mean? Q means set buildings, tasks, slot preferences. We'll use Q a lot here. This is the first time. We're going to go highlight our carpenter's workshop, which got suspended because something was in the way. If we hit S, it'll unsuspend it, so someone will go and build it again. We want that one to get built first, really. Our farm plot, however, is done. So let's go take a look at that. So we're going to hit Q again, and we're going to go highlight the farm plot. So we have this, the soil is tilled. Now we're going to select what seeds we're going to plant in that farm plot. We want plump helmets. If there's one thing you make, plump helmets are it. Plump helmets are fantastic. They're just mushrooms basically, but we can turn them, we can eat them, and we can turn them into booze, and we like booze. So I hit enter on it. If I hit enter on it, it'll select it for spring. If I hit shift enter, it selects it for the all seasons. So all seasons, spring, summer, winter, fall, we will be planting plump helmets in there. Your dwarves are happy if they have a variety of booze, but as long as they have booze, they won't freak out. So what we're going to do is we'll grab some of these, probably right here, a bag of this. Our farmer will come grab that and start planting it in here. Now let me show you Dwarf Therapist real quick. So let's go to a Lazy News Pack. Go to Utilities, Dwarf Therapist. Open that up. Now this, let's read Dwarves, shows us all 7 of our dwarves. And we're going to go to Attributes. Actually, go to Labors. Labors full. And this is sort of their labors list. This is what jobs they are doing and how skilled they are at them. So we have Dumont here. Dumont, his profession, he is a planter. And he is a level 5 skilled at farming. He also is our cook, apparently. If it is colored in blue, that means that job is turned on for them. Now, if you have DF Hack on, like I showed earlier, it will automatically make sure someone is doing a job if it's needed. So you don't have to worry about this too much. But it's a good idea to make sure people are doing the job that they are good at. And you can see how good they are at things with traits. Not traits, with roles. Roles tell you how good they are at certain things. So for instance, Dumont, he's a level 91 farmer. It's blued in. It's blue, so he is farming. Everyone else is terrible at it. Look at Obach, 16. He doesn't know what dirt is. We got a couple miners here that are very good at mining, so and they are indeed mining because it's blued in. But if you want something, so say something's not being done, you want something milling or someone else butchering, you just click it, and then you hit commit changes. And there you go. Now he is butchering as well. There's not a lot to say about this. You can sort of go in here and play around with it, but in my short video, this is a very brief overview. If you want to change names of people, that's a very important one. You right-click on them, set nickname, and you can change it. Feb, your name is now Nook. Okay, and then we hit commit changes. We can also cursor over it, just hover over it, and it gives you a nice rundown of everything a very brief history and skills of the man. Are you man? You're a woman. Sorry. It tells you can read all that. He's a good miner. That's basically all he does. But we can see this elsewhere too, but this is a nice... Dwarf Therapist is the best part of this of the Lazy New Pack. Dwarf Therapist is fantastic. Okay, so you can see our farmer is here planting things. Some of them are green. He's got some plump helmets in there. Fantastic. Good job, buddy. Let's take a look at our workshops now. We're going to hit Q. Q is our favorite button now. And let's go to the carpenter's workshop. We want doors, we want beds, we want tables, we want chairs. So we're going to hit A for add new task. And we're going to tell him to build us, let's build doors first. Build door, D. We're going to actually build 2 doors. 2 doors. So those are now in the menu. So our carpenter will go over there and start building some dwarves, or some doors. Over here's our crafts doors workshop. Now we're going to try show a different way of doing this. We're going to add new task, and we want to build some bolts for our crossbows. We use plus or minus to scroll through this menu, and we're going to go to wood. We're going to make wooden bolts. Enter. Now we want to make lots of bolts. We want more than just 5, of course. So we're going to hit R for repeat, which means he'll just do it forever. But we don't want him doing it forever and just having loads and loads of bolts laying around. We want a limit. So we're going to hit Alt W, which is going to bring up the workflow constraint, which is another one of those DF hack things that we did. Shift A will add a limit. What this is going to do, we'll say of any wood, enter. This is going to tell him, this is a workflow constraint is what this is called. Hit Shift R for range. Now, we're going to tell him to make 300 to 500 bolts. This is basically working where he's going to make 500 wooden bolts. Whenever the stockpile goes below 300, he's going to come back and make up to 500 again. That's kind of a way of managing not having too much of something, but whenever you don't have enough. I like doing that. I like doing this really on everything. Doors, tables, chairs, just so we have like 1 or 2 sitting in the stockpile. So if I want to build something, I don't have to go back and mess with that. Now, there's one other way of doing this. I haven't messed with this menu before, but we go have in for nobles. This is our administrators of the fort. Right now we have our expedition leader, Zuglar. Good job, Zuglar. Do that. Now, these are the different jobs that we can assign people. It's a good idea to have a chief medical dwarf, so we can just hit enter on this guy and go find one that has some sort of relevant skill, which Nook does. We can scroll down. These are all of our dwarves. Nook has skill in doing that. So yeah, Nook, you are now my chief medical dwarf. Congratulations. Broker and bookkeeper are important, as well as manager if you want to do this next thing I'm going to show you. So let's pick manager. We're not going to do Nook. He's already busy. We'll pick Tosid. He can be a manager. Now you can see something is red. We're not going to really mess with this right now, but he wants an office. I'll show you how to do that, but we're not going to build him one just yet. He can get over it. But because we have a manager, we can go to U, this unit screen, which I showed before. We have a kestrel running around. We have a dead badger sow. All the badgers ran away. We can, while we're in this menu, we can go to M for manager. And let's say we're going to do Q, a new order. Let's say we want to build 4 chairs. So we'll type in chair. Wooden chair. We want to do that. And we want 4 of them. So our manager is going to go tell the carpenter, hey, buddy, build me 4 chairs, please. And he will go do that. So we don't have to fiddle around with trying to find a workshop or what workshop makes what. We can just do that and it'll do it. Same thing with like the bows. I mean, all of that stuff we can do that with. So that's a pretty handy little tool if you can't figure out where you're supposed to build something. As you can see, our stone stockpile is filling up. All of our stockpiles actually are filling up quite nicely. We have to go make sure our booze is being done. Let's check out our still. Still, add new task. We want to brew drink from plants. We're going to take our plump helmets that we're pulling out of the ground, and we're going to squeeze them repeatedly. We're going to do that forever and make booze. If we want to eat other things, we can. Just make sure you squeeze plump helmets. So, now we're making chairs. We're not making a table yet, but we're making chairs. We'll make a table in a second. We've got doors getting ready to be made, which I don't think they're made yet. I'm not used to this menu, this tile set. But we're going to make doors in a second. We'll put them right there. We're basically set up to where we won't die in the first year. There's a few things, other things we want to make sure we mark. Make sure all of our workshops are doing jobs. Like, for instance, our butcher right now is doing nothing. So you want to make sure he is butchering dead animals. Yes, do it forever. No, there's no need to do anything else. So you just butcher them forever. So if there's a dead animal laying around, go kill it. You can see we've got some rat remains in our food stockpiles that people are carrying out, because our cat here is catching them. Good job, cat. I'm going to show one more of these buttons over here. We're going to cover zones, which is I. Now, if you have animals, this is a very important key. Oops. Our animals right now are all hanging out here by this wagon, which is not very safe because our fort's down here. But some of these animals, like the cows, are grazing animals, which means they need to be where there's grass and plants. So we're going to make an area for them. So we're going to do like we do with a stockpile and just set off an area. So this is our zone. In this zone, what do you want it to be? We want it to be a pen and pasture, which is in, and we're going to set the information shift in. We don't want to put this. It gives us a list of all of our animals that we can put in there. We're just going to hit shift G because we just want the ones that graze. Ewe, ram, bull, and cow. Enter plus enter plus 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 enter enter. So the ones with pluses, we're going to move them into this area. A little bit safer. We can build some walls around it to make it a lot safer. But that way they'll have food. They'll be a little bit safer. It'll be nicer for everyone. You can do the same thing. You can build a zone in your food and put your cats in there to keep the rats out. You can put a zone here and put a couple dogs in to keep any sort of goblins, thieves spotted. It's a good way of dealing with it. Let's see if our doors are... No, our doors are not done. Doors are not being made. Well, they'll get there eventually. The badger is fighting our hunter. Alright, so we've built a few doors here. We're still working on those chairs and those and the table, but we can get our door done. So let's go back to the B menu. Build. We're going to build a door. We have a door in the stockpile. We can see him right there. So let's put a door right here. We can choose our wooden door or our limestone door. Well, I made them a limestone out of at the mason's workshop. So let's do that. Limestone's better. We'll do another one. D, enter, limestone, enter. Now they are, as you can see, they're black, but they're working on getting made. So someone will come over here, grab the doors, there he goes, and plop it down. He's building it, there it is. door is done. There we go. We are now inside, which is very exciting. Now I'm running a little low on time, so I'm going to try to hurry everything else up. You can kind of see over here, if you watch over here, he'll grab a plump helmet and carry it into one of these barrels, and my brewer will eventually squeeze it out and make some booze. To check our stocks, to see how things are going, we hit Z. So this area right here is the important part. If we get a broker with a decent skill, I showed before the nobles, then these numbers are more exact. But we have 30 seeds, we have 80 drink, we have 20 plants, no fish, and only 2 meat. So if we want more plants and seeds and things, we can go gather plants with the designate tool, or just by farming. Drinks come from our still, which we have 80 of, which is okay, with our only 7. Meat and fish. Well, let's fish then. Let's zoom out here. Do I have a pond on this map? I think I do. I thought I did. Do I not? I have a tiny one. Is this it? There's no pond. There's no pond. Really? I can't show fishing then, because there's no pond. Okay. Well, we won't be showing a pond, because there's none of those. Well, if we had a pond, I would hit I, as I did with where the animals were at, and we'd make an area. We'd put it over a water source of some kind. Enter, and then we can just select W as a water source. F, we can fish there, or we can G, we can gather and pick fruit there. Or of course we can't water and fish there, but we can gather fruit in this area if we want. But that's how you would set up a water source. Oh well, maybe we'll find some water downstairs. There's a couple little puddles around here, but that's not going to count as much. So, a couple more quick things. Military, which is a very, very complex thing, but it's not that difficult. We hit M to get to this menu, military menu. We want to see create squad, the only option we really have. The first squad you want to make, I would say, is an archer squad, because you're going to have a crossbow, you've got bolts. Just do an archer squad for your first squad. You won't need much, but just in case you have like a grizzly bear or something come running by, build a squad. It gives you a name, the Orbs of Crafting. Right now we have no one in it, so we just come and we can select people. You can actually see if anyone has any skills. We should have one guy. Yes, Sodal is an accomplished Marksdwarf. Well, Sodal, you are now in the military, and we can hit enter and select however many we want to go into there. So, done. They are just, as a default, they are archers, wear leather, and they grab a crossbow. So, escape, done. Now, say there's something that we want to kill. Is there anything on the map that we want to kill? Let's go look. There's a lot of wild boars around. Let's go kill one. We're going to hit S to grab our military squad. We see the Orbs of Crafting here. We're going to hit A to select them. Now, we can either tell them to attack something, or we can tell them to move somewhere. Obviously, there's a lot more options for military, but we're just going to cover the basics. If we want to move somewhere, we'll hit M and hit Enter, and they will grab their gear, and they will run out here. We don't really have any gear right now, but if we had leather armor, they would be more obliged to grab it. But there's 3 of them there so far. Let's say we want to kill something. We have them selected. They're already selected. If we hit K, attack, we can either select what's at our cursor, well, there's nothing at our cursor right now, or we can hit L to select from a list. Let's kill this wild boar sow number C, and hit enter. Now they will run off and slaughter it. Let's see where they go. Where are they going? Oh, it's running off. Look at them run. See the exclamation point? That's it. We got it. We got it. Get it. Get it. It's like chasing a pig around. So anyways, I'm wasting valuable time, but yeah, there you go. That's how your military works. If you want to cancel the order, you go back to S and you select them, and then you hit O to cancel the order. You can also center on if you want to hit Z. You don't follow them around. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so we're in summer now. Fast forward to summer, and some migrants have arrived. So what's going to happen? Actually, you can hit F1. If you ever get lost, hit F1. It takes you back to your wagon. If you want to make a new hotkey, hotkeys is H, Shift H. You just go where you want to go, and you hit whatever hotkey you want, F2, and then hit Z. And now it makes it a hotkey. So every time you hit F2, it takes you there. That's a good way in case you get lost. Like, especially if you dig way down here, get lost. There you go. You're back. So some migrants have arrived. We can take a look at Dwarf Therapist to see how many. We can read the dwarves. It takes them a minute to come rolling in. We can organize this by... Where is it? Migration wave. There it is. We have 7 new dwarves have shown up. Yep, 7 new dwarves came running in, and they all have different skills, and we can actually see them, we can rename them, we can, yeah, whatever. New dwarves are here, hooray! We're going to take a quick look at what our dwarves like. So we have some of our new guys here, but we can go to the U key, this will bring up our dwarf set, and we go to V for view unit. We can also hit Z if we want to go see them on the map, but let's hit V and view Zoglar here. And then we can see his health, we can see his relationships, who he's married to, his friends, whatever. You can hit Y, you can change his name. Enter will show you his thoughts and preferences. This is a good way of showing if you're doing things correctly. If you have, this will tell you what they're happy about, what they're not happy about. I could really use a drink, he says. So she was interested near a fine table. She was interested near a fine seat. She felt fondness talking with a friend. She has friends. She likes the chairs. She was euphoric during the inebriation. She was annoyed after having a drink without using a goblet. We don't have any cups, so she's mad about that. She was annoyed at the lack of chairs. Not enough chairs. We need more chairs. She didn't feel anything after seeing a badger die. She felt bitter after getting into an argument. Okay, also, she felt annoyed after sleeping in the grass. So that tells us we need more chairs. We need cups. We need a bedroom. So that is sort of a very easy way of kind of seeing how your dwarves feel about things. It's a pretty easy way of seeing things. All right, something I seem to have missed before. On your still, make sure you have extract from plants on as well. Add new task, extract from plants is on and on repeat. Sometimes you'll notice like brew drink from plant is on, there's an S on it. It's been suspended. You can hit S on it and it'll unsuspend it. Sometimes, I'm not sure why they just stopped making booze. I guess we probably just run out of barrels, which is a very important thing for your carpenter to make. Always have your carpenter making barrels. That is a very good one, whereas barrel is in V. Always have barrels on a workflow. Alt-W. Turn that on. Yes, it should be on anyways. Shift R. Shift A of wood. Shift R. We want 10 to 15 barrels, empty barrels, always laying around. If you run out of barrels, you'll stop making drink, you'll stop making food, so always have extra barrels laying around. Now, as for making a dining room and a bedroom, I haven't made any beds yet, let's make some beds. Make beds, just make 2 beds. Add task, B, make bed. But we have 4 chairs that have been done, and we have a table here, so let's place them. Build for B, or B for build, and we want to make a table with just T. And we're going to place it right here. We're going to call this our dining room. We're going to put, well, ideally you'd put a lot more than just one table, but it works. And we're going to put our chairs around it. C. There. We want an apricot one. Yes. C. Now, with Dwarf DF Hack, you have this planning mode option. Shift P. And we can just go like this. Put in whatever material one you want. Just put them in. And space will let them throw those in. You'll see them come grab these down here and put them in the spot, and I'll show you how to designate a room. This is one of the last things that I'm going to show. So we've got a table, chairs, it's done. We're going to put Q on it, and we're going to make a dining room. So we hit R, and you can hit the plus and minus to make the dining room bigger and smaller. Ideally, you would have doors in this spot so we would know where to stop the dining room, but this is fine right here. So we're going to hit Enter, and we want to make this our meeting hall, H. That way, right now, everyone is hanging out up here at the wagon. Everyone, when they get time off, they go up there, they sit, they chill out, talk to the cats. Now we're going to mark this as our meeting hall, so now everyone will come down here and meet. You're about to see a big horde of animals and other things come running into here. Ideally, we want a room for our chickens, but that's a separate thing I'm not going to cover. Sometimes you're going to have, we saw this before, someone like Toasted. He wants an office. Well, you would make a room with a chair and a table. You could hover over the chair and you hit R, make that a study, which counts as an office, and you can give it to him. I'll do it real quick. R to make study, Enter, A for assign chair. We're going to give that to, who was it? Toasted. Toasted, there you go. You now have a dining room, or you have an office anyways. So we look at him. Now he's happy. Enter. He needs an office. He has a meager office. Excellent. He's in the dining room with everyone else. Alright, I think that pretty much covers the basics. I think you should be able to survive your first year, at least, knowing this. There's one very, very, very important thing left. And that is the Dwarf Fortress Wiki. If you have any questions, just come here and type in whatever. You need to know how to make a still. Type in still. This will tell you what all you can do with the still. It'll tell you how to do it. It'll tell you what you need to bring to the still. You got plants, seeds, whatever. This will give you all the details. Everything is in here. If you have any questions, go here. Alright, that is it. I have gone over my time, but I hope this is a nice song to go out on. I hope this answers, or this gets you into the game. That's the hope here. You're gonna fail. That's guaranteed. That's the point of the game, is you're gonna fail. There is no right or wrong way to play Dwarf Fortress. I think the best way is not to go and learn all the tutorials and learn exactly how to play the game. The way to play it is just to run in and get lost in the game and fail. I put some beds down here. As you can see, we can hit R and make a bedroom. And we're going to call this a dormitory because we're all in here. So we can just hit D for dormitory. Now it's dormitory. If we want to make it an individual bedroom, then we don't have to hit any buttons. We just hit R on it, make an individual bedroom. They'll go claim it themselves. Or you can assign it if you want to have a specific bedroom for a specific dwarf. That is it. I'm done talking. Thanks again for watching. And remember, Dwarf Fortress, you can play it any way you want. If someone tells you how to play the game, it's wrong. Do it however you want and fail miserably. You will fail. That's the point of the game. I will also put a link to a tutorial done by Daz Tactic, and he did it a while ago. It's a very, very long tutorial. It's like 30 hours of Dwarf Fortress tutorials. But if you want to know how to play the game, he goes through everything step by step. So it's how I learned how to play, and it's overwhelming, but he does a very good job. He's nice and slow and helps through all of that. But I hope this has answered questions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. I am not an expert at the game, but I know how to get into the game. I hope this will answer those questions. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.